know it ain't many like six though. Never need an intro. Yeah, even through the talk and all the chatter, I can show them that I know my family matters like a Winslow. Outdoors smoking Indo.
And welcome back for the final predictions video, the AFC East. I know I was a little slacking. I could have got all these videos out way earlier. It took me about a month to get every video out, but I got some things going on. Had school, I started classes again. I'm in a moving process, as y'all know. We are finally at the final division. And oh boy, this one feels good to do because I work hard on these videos, so I do appreciate y'all for watching. So let's just get into it. So to start this video, the first team we will be looking at is the clear-cut favorite to win this division. Some people have this team win Super Bowl, and that is the Buffalo Bills. This Bills team has been tremendous these past few seasons, ever since Tom Brady has left the division. And this division, it's very one-sided almost every year. When Tom Brady was in the division, for 20 years, 19 years or so, I think I think it was one season where the Patriots didn't win the division, and that was the year he tore his ACL, I think in '07. And so now, the clear-cut favorite every year will be the Bills from here on out. Just because they're so talented and so good, and it all starts with Josh Allen, an MVP favorite this coming season. I'm not choosing him to be MVP, but he is up there, with Aaron Rodgers for that MVP conversation yet again, as he was last year. But, the things this man can do on the field are tremendous. I know we all see how Josh Allen plays every week, every year. And the AFC Championship this past season was very indicative of how he plays. Getting his team back, and just a heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs where he didn't even get to touch the ball in OT, which is so sad. But he plays his heart out. He's a great passer, elite pocket presence. He can step up. He can scramble. And people think with his size, it was a little difficult coming out of college for him to scramble, but he showed us why he's able to scramble and everything like that. And he's just amazing. He's a top quarterback in this league. He's up there. I believe you can put him in your top five conversation for right now. I mean, not of course not of all time, but as the season progresses on, as these past few years, you can put him in that top five as of right now. He's just that good. And giving him Stephon Diggs in a trade a few years ago, it really helped. And it really helped him develop and everything. Stephon Diggs is a top five receiver right now, one of the best route runners in the league, in my opinion. Great hands. I mean, we all know what Stephon Diggs can do too. It's no surprise that these two can, just hit it off with each other every week, go for big yards every week. Gabe Davis is coming into his own. He's going to fill that receiver two spot now that Cole Beasley isn't there. So that's going to be, good for him. And, we've seen how he played in the AFC Championship game, 4 touchdowns. Him and Josh Allen were clicking on all cylinders that game as well. And you got Dawson Knox on the tight end spot. Real great blocker, and he can move really fast. He's shifty. He can make people miss. He can run right through you, and he's an all-around good, solid tight end. And then you got your backfield with Devin Singletary and a newly acquired James Cook from the draft, Dalvin Cook's brother. So I think these two will end up splitting reps during the season. Singletary's not really a third down back or a goal line back. He's more of a receiving back, first down catching back. And I think James Cook will come in, fill that third down back spot, fill that goal line spot that this Bills team needs, and just be all around great. I think he'll end up earning the starting spot over Singletary at one point because he plays so much like Dalvin Cook that it's amazing to see. So I think his potential's through the roof. This Bills team has a great offensive line. Sadly, I can't really name all of them off the top of my head. But when you give Josh Allen so much time to throw, step up, when you give a lot of running room for these running backs, it makes things a lot easier. It makes things a lot easier, and it makes winning games way better. And then this team had the best defense last year, and it starts with the tandem safety with Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. These guys are just so good. They're probably the best safety tandem in the league as of right now. I wouldn't, I'd put my money on that. So having them back there is just amazing. And then Trey White's coming back off an ACL injury. I don't know if he'll actually play the first few weeks, but once you get him back, he's a top 10 corner, not top 5. He's a top 10 corner in this league. Amazing, can cover really well, end zone and man. You got Edmonds, Oliver, and then you just acquired Von Miller. So these guys are going to go get after the quarterback. Edmonds can drop back into coverage when needed. So he's really good linebacker. You drafted Kyer Elam out of Florida in this past draft. He's a really good, solid corner. Young, can learn from Trey White, can learn from Micah Hyde, Poyer about what needs to be done. And this Bills team is just in a great position to keep winning, and that's exactly what they'll do. I think they'll be back in the playoffs as a top seed, of course, because it's hard to see this team losing a lot, and they just have so much potential, and it all, like I said, like they're a well-rounded team. Even after all the drama, the whole drama incident they just went through, this team is so great that they'll just, it does like they're gonna brush it off and just get right back to playing football like they usually do. Now, looking at the Buffalo Bills schedule, you know, um, it's looking really good for them, honestly. So you start off week one with the Rams, the defending champs, on opening night this Thursday. I think you will lose the first game just because it's big nerves. The first game of the year. You're gonna play great. It's gonna be a close one. You're ultimately gonna take the loss. Then you play the Titans, win. Dolphins, win. Ravens, win. Steelers, win. Chiefs, win. Packers, I'll say loss. Jets, win. Vikings, win. Browns, win. Lions, win. Patriots, win. Jets, win. Dolphins, win. Bears, win. Bengals, I'll say loss. And then you end the year with the Patriots, where you will get the last win. Realistically speaking, I see the Bills going 14-3 for this upcoming year. Great record, great position for this team. I think they'll be able to hit 16 wins. Maybe they only lose once this year. But they don't go below 13 wins, so that's their floor, 13 wins. As I said before, this team is just too good to lose that many games, and I think though the Bills are going to show us why they're going to be great again this year, as they have been for these past few seasons. And like I said, they're a clear Super Bowl favorite this coming year, so it should be fun to watch. The next team we will look at is the Miami Dolphins, a heavy sleeper team to make this playoffs. And I understand, and the Dolphins went out and made moves this year, acquiring a lot of pieces for this team that they desperately needed. And Tua has improved so much. I know I will never understand the Tua slander. Yes, he had a rough first 2 years. I understand, but come on, not everybody can come to the league and be like Joe Burrow, or Justin Herbert. Like it takes some time to develop with some of these other guys. Like some of these guys just can't come in just like play really well. It takes some time to develop, and as a as like people who understand football and who watch football or who play football, such as myself, we should all know that. But I think Tua's ready is going to show up a lot of people this year just because of how well he's going to play. He's going to get that turnover rate down. He's going to throw more touchdowns, and he has the weapons to do so. He literally is surrounded by people that can help him be better, and it starts with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. These two are going to go absolutely insane this next year, and Tua can't throw the ball down to Tyreek. We're gonna see, bro. I promise you. Because if you double Tyreek, you have Jalen Waddle maybe going across the middle in a mid middle route, and it's gonna be hard trying to cover both of these guys when they're on the field. And then if you are able to cover both, Mike Gesicki is a really good tight end. Like he's tall, he has long arms, his catch radius is insane, and it's just what are you gonna do? Like those three right there. I know Gesicki isn't really a big name tight end, but he is amazing. If you watch Mike Gesicki at all, you know how good he is and how great he can be in the future. And then you upgraded your backfield. You went and got Raheem Mostert, who is coming off an injury from last season. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year. And along with Chase Edmonds, who came over from Arizona, I think he'll be the featured back, like receiving. Raheem Mostert probably carry most of the load on the ground, but the offense is just got so much better than it actually was last season. You even went out and paid a lot of money for Teron Armstead, who came over from New Orleans, and he's one of the better tackles in this league, probably one of the best if it wasn't for Trent Williams. But this offense went and upgraded as should have. They got a lot of pieces around Tua. They're developing Tua, making sure he's gonna play well for them because they have a lot of faith in him. And then the defense is pretty solid as well. You got Xavier Howard, who is a top 5 corner. He's really well. Had 10 interceptions a few years ago at one point. And you got Byron Jones, who's also a very solid corner. Injuries have plagued him a little bit these past few years, but when healthy, he can be solid. I do think he'll miss the first 4 weeks on the PUP list. But once he gets back, he'll help this team win a lot of games. Javon Holland, really great young safety, played so well last year. I know he was in the defensive rookie conversations at one point, but then Micah Parsons ended up running away with it. You have Jerome Baker in the middle of the field. Oh, he's been solid for the past few years, so he's really great. And then you went and signed Melvin Ingram to pair with Christian Wilkins on that line. So you went and added pieces. Yeah, they might have been the best pieces available, but you went out and still added and got depth to your roster. That way, if something were to happen, you have more people to put in. And overall, this team just got better, and I do think this team will win quite a few games this year. Now let's take a look at the Dolphins' upcoming schedule. You start off week 1 with the Patriots. I'll give them a win on this one. The Patriots and Dolphins usually tend to split the series every year. Ravens, I'll give you the win. Bills, loss. Bengals, loss. Jets, win. Vikings, I'll say loss. Steelers, win. Lions, win. Bears, win. Browns, win. You go into your bye week, you got the Texans, win. The Niners, I'll say loss. Chargers, loss. Bills, loss. Green Bay, loss. Patriots, I'll give them another win. I think the Dolphins will get the sweep this year, and then you end off the year with the Jets, which will be a win. Realistically speaking, I think this Dolphins team can go 10-7. Maybe they can hit 12 wins. Some if they play really well, if everything's clicking on all cylinders, and I see the floor at 7 wins. Just depends on what happens. Sometimes injuries plague this team for quite a bit for these past few years, so I wouldn't be surprised if they slipped a little bit in the record. So I'll give them 7 for the floor, but honestly, this Dolphins team, I think they'll shock a lot of people this year. That's why I'm giving them the 10-7 record. I really want to see Tua and this rest of this team be great this year because they, seeing as how they went out and got a lot of pieces, I think they're set up to win now. Next team we'll be looking at is the New England Patriots, a team who had a bounce back season last year from the 2020 season, where they dropped to 7-9, I believe, and they bounced back and made the wild card last year. And Mac Jones was a great help for this team. I really thought they would have kept Cam Newton, but Mac Jones proved why he should have been the starter and why he deserved that starting spot last year. He played really well for a rookie quarterback. I don't remember I think the Patriots did go 10-7. I believe. I think this team will be good too. Again, they went Mac Jones. Coming into his second year, I know he's lost a lot of weight, and that was like the main concern with him. So it looks like he's doing way better. He's throwing the ball way better than he was in last year in training camp. You got Damian Harris in the backfield, a really solid, great running back who doesn't really get the recognition he deserves. He's great. He's hard to tackle, shifty, hard to tackle. He's faster than what people think he is. He can. It's crazy. I remember last year when they played the Jets week 2. He just like about 5 Jets defenders, maybe 7 that had a hit on him, and they still didn't bring him down, and he scored on a 40-yard run or something. Kendrick Bourne, also a really underrated receiver in my opinion. He's quietly good. Like I don't think people talk about him enough because of how good he is. He can go up, make plays when needed. He can outrun a corner, a DB, whoever's guarding him. He's all around a great receiver, which helped Mac Jones a lot last year, honestly. And then you go out and get Devontae Parker from the Dolphins in a trade, also a solid receiver. I know you just lost Tyquan Thornton for a few weeks. I know Jacoby Myers is still there. So he's just going to see how things play out. But Devontae Parker is also a really good receiver. He's not the fastest guy on the field, but he can go up and make plays in a one-on-one situation. He can get you deep, go up, make those one-on-one plays, get you down the field quick. Good route runner also. Then you got the tight end duo in Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, both really great tight ends that came, from San Diego and Tennessee 2 years ago. And these guys are just good. A lot of people thought, only one would they could be starting tight ends on another team. Jonnu Smith, if it was only one of them, Jonnu Smith or Hunter Henry, they could start for another team. But Belichick is doing a really good job with the two tight end sets, with alternating Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. So they're gonna keep balling out like usual. Your offensive line is great. Mac Jones had a lot of protection last year, which was good. That's why the running game was so good last year. And so I think that'll be better this year. Defense got a little weaker. We're not gonna lie about that. You lost J.C. Jackson, one of the better corners in this league, when it got paid a lot of money by the Los Angeles Chargers. But you still got, you got Jabril Peppers, very solid safety, along with Jalen Mills, very solid slot corner. You still got Jason McCourty, veteran on this defense who knows how the Patriot way is, who knows how things go, how things are run. Will teach these younger guys how things are going. Kyle Duggar's also really plays well. He had a great season last year. Matthew Judon also had a great season last year. It felt like he was unguardable at sometimes coming off that edge. And I think this team, while they are decent, I don't think they can win as many games as they did last year. I think their schedule is kind of, against them a little bit. But here we go. We'll go over here soon, but I don't think they'll be any better than they were last year. I think they'll be around the same in that area, if you know what I mean. Now, looking at the Patriots' upcoming schedule, you start off with the Dolphins. That will be a loss. Steelers, I'll give you the win. I'll say win. Ravens, loss. Packers, loss. Lions, win. Browns, win. Bears, win. Jets, win. Colts, loss. You beat the Jets again. Vikings, loss. Bills, loss. Cardinals, loss. Raiders, loss. Bengals, loss. That's a tough stretch right there. Miami, loss, and then you'll end the season off with the Bills, which will be another loss. Ultimately, I see the Patriots only going 6-11 this year. Realistically speaking, it's that tough stretch at the end of the year, man. Honestly, you play all those really good teams, and either one of those games can go either way. But those are all so much better teams than this Patriots team is. So it's kind of hard for me to pick the Patriots to win any of those games down the stretch in that final 2 months. But they could hit 10 wins. I'll give them a ceiling of 10. Home, they could hit that, and then I'll give a floor about 5 wins maybe. But like I said, with that 2 month end stretch of the final regular season games where you had the Bills twice, you got the Raiders, Cardinals, Bengals. That's gonna be a tough stretch for this team. And if they could pull out a lot of those games, they will make the playoffs. And not last but not least, we are now looking at the final team of our predictions video, and that will be the New York Jets. Um, while this team improved over the past offseason, greatly, vastly improved, I don't think they're set up to win quite yet. And we don't know what's going on with Zach Wilson right now. That scary injury he had in the preseason. Rumors are that he probably will be ready to go week 1, and if not, then you have Joe Flacco. But if Zach Wilson is ready to go week 1, that would be a huge help for this team. And I don't think a lot of people trust in Joe Flacco. Not a lot of people trust in Zach Wilson, but I think he's obviously the better option than Joe Flacco. So if he is ready to go by week 1, this will help this Jets team. But if not, then Jets fans will have to struggle a little bit with Joe Flacco. Um, you got Brees Hall. You got Brees Hall from the draft. You also have Michael Carter in the backfield. So I believe these two will be splitting reps at the beginning of the year, and then later on, I think Brees Hall will get a majority of the touches. Right now, I think they have Michael Carter listed as the number 1. So once later on in the season, we'll start to see more Brees Hall than Michael Carter. And Michael Carter will probably be in the receiving back type of position. But I think Brees Hall will be a great running back for this team in the future. You got Garrett Wilson with the number 10th pick. Really great wide receivers what this team really needed. You could pair him along with Elijah Moore and Corey Davis, both solid, good receivers for this team. If Corey Davis can stay healthy, be great. He's a kind of a deep threat. He can run by you. He has good hands. You went and got C.J. Uzomah from free agency from that Cincinnati Bengals team, who's a solid tight end who can be a solid tight end for this team. Very, very good signing. Your offensive line, kind of weak. That might cause some trouble for this team. That's where I see things falling apart. You lost Micah Becton for the year with I think it was a fractured kneecap or something like that. So that's a tough loss. So it's going to be hard winning without him because he is a great offensive lineman. I know you got Vera Tucker still, but without Becton, without the entirety of that O line, it's going to be hard. Sauce Gardner got him with the 4th overall pick. A great corner. I like Derek Stingley more than Sauce, but this is still a great signing for this defense. The defense is pretty weak. We all know that. We all seen that last year. So getting Sauce in the draft, great signing. You also got Jordan Whitehead in free agency. You know, he's a decent safety, a good safety. You know, when he played in Tampa, he was good. So we're gonna see how he plays. You know, and then Quan Alexander and C.J. Mosley in the middle of the field, along with Quincy Williams and Quinnen Williams on the line. You know, that's gonna be good. Those three backers right there are pretty good. You know, like I said, you got Quinnen Williams on the line. Quincy will be playing that linebacker spot. You got DJ Reed, who believe is a solid defensive back. You know, if he's healthy, he's gonna play really, really well as well. You also got Jermaine Johnson from the draft, really good signing. You know, I believe he's listed at edge rusher right now. So if he actually plays, if he's able to start over Carl Lawson, I believe he'll be really well. I do think the Jets won this draft in this past April, but I honestly, after looking at their schedule, it might be a little harder for this team to win games. Now, looking at the Jets' schedule, you start off with the Ravens week 1, loss. Browns, I feel like this one can go either way. No Deshaun Watson for the first 11 weeks, but I'll give this one to Cleveland. Play the Bengals, loss. Pittsburgh, loss. Miami, loss. Green Bay, loss. Denver, loss. New England, loss. Buffalo, loss. Then you go into your bye week, 0-9. That's rough. You know, that's a rough start for this team. Then you got the Patriots. I think you lose again. Uh, so you're 0-10. Chicago, I think the Jets beat Chicago. Minnesota lost. Buffalo lost. Detroit lost. You can beat Jacksonville. Seattle, you can beat Seattle, and then you'll lose to Miami the final week of the season. Realistically, I only see the Jets going 3-14. This schedule is rough, honestly. You know, that first 9 weeks, it's rough, honestly. So while the Jets have improved, it's just not enough. Their schedule is against them. Maybe they hit 6 wins, and maybe they only hit 1 win. It's a very real possibility, but like I said, it's really just their schedule. I'm not saying the team is bad because they made a lot of improvements. They're doing their best, but at the end of the day, it's hard for me to look at that schedule and say the Jets win more than 3 games.
Blood don't make you kinfolk. Loyalty is what I send for. No half stepping, only 10 toes. Now life is at a different tempo.